Hey yo, what is poppin', guys? It's your boy FizzleTheHizzle, aka Ben here, bringing you guys the NCL Week 4 Team Builder going up against the UNC Wingulls and Coach Jay. I've known him for a long time. I believe we played in AABL. We played in the semi, so that was a fun one. We played last season as well with his own theme team, and this season he's got kind of a theme team going as well. It took me like so long to figure out what the hell his theme was for this draft, but it turns out that he's like doing mono color or something, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, something like that, and I kind of see it now. So that's pretty cool. It's like actually not a bad team either. Last season's team was a different story. It was a very interesting team, but this draft is actually like pretty solid. So it's kind of scary, and he has big threats that I'm worried about, but I feel like our prep is going to be good. And I'm going to preface the video by saying I have no face cam again. I'm coming off recording the SSBL draft analysis, my own league, so definitely go check that out, by the way. Self-plug, of course. But let me know what you guys think about no face cam. Here's the perks with no face cam. Without face cam, I can put my mic closer to my face without it showing up on the screen for you guys, so I sound better in my opinion. And it, like, without webcam, it makes it so that there's less lag, like with battles and team builders and stuff. So I felt like the quality of the video is better like that. But I know some of you guys like to see my face, like to see my reactions, or you just can't get enough of my face, which I totally get a lot. But yeah, man, just let me know what you guys think about that. Whether you want me to do face cam or no face cam, whether you don't care. Because I kind of like doing no face cam, man. It's just more comfortable. I don't have to worry about how I look or anything. And I feel like the overall performance and quality of the video is just better. But yeah, man, just let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below for sure. And I'm going to jump right into this team, do a quick little rundown. Here's a Mega Scissor, the girl Asuka from last season. Oh, I love this thing, man. It's so bulky. It gets lots of utility. It's like bulkier than Skarmory. It's SD, Bullet Punch, U-Turn. It's crazy. Hits hard, it's very bulky. Speaking of hitting hard, Infernape, I have random EVs there, don't mind that. But Infernape can hit hard from both sides, gets access to Nasty Plot and SD. Iron Fist, Thunder Punches, it gets Ice Punch, I believe. No, it doesn't get Ice Punch, I know this for a fact. But it does get Thunder Punch to break the bulky waters. So it's going to be doing a lot with Iron Fist. Same thing with like Mach Punch. This thing could very well be Scarfed. I feel like it has merit in this matchup just to outspeed most of my sun. I believe it can't outspeed Victory Bow, but it's really good if in case it wants to outspeed like Gengar and Houndoom, which are two pretty big threats against this team, so definitely got to watch out for that. Gets access to rocks as well. So yeah, man, Mon to watch out for. Cresselia, a very bulky Mon. It's really good on this. It kind of loses him momentum in a lot of ways, because he had a good U-turn core going with his first two picks. Well, not his first two picks in the draft necessarily, but his first two mons that I went over. And he just lost so much momentum, in my opinion, picking Cresselia. So it's just bulky. It can be annoying with Calm Mind, Moonblast, can toxic things, T-Wave. It's just annoying. You already know what it does. Tyrantrum, the monster. I had this thing in CPBA. Unfortunately, I did not make playoffs because I got hacked to death. But that's all good. D-Dance Tyrantrum, scary. Scarf Tyrantrum, scary. Banded Tyrantrum, scary, because Rockhead Head Smash is not a fun thing to switch into. And it can blow off the Scarf and set up a DD in my face, and it can just win the game. So I did my very best to try to prep for this thing, because it has really good coverage and phenomenal attacking moves, or an attacking stats. It's pretty bulky on the physical side as well. And can run Z moves like Z Head Smash, Z Outrage, which is just not fun. And he has another bulky Mon with Cresselia. Again, loses him momentum. I know it gets Baton Pass, but I don't know. Like his Hyper Offense draft, I thought it was Hyper Offense the first time I looked at it, but the more I realized, looking at his defensive backbone, it doesn't really give him momentum. Like something like Uxie over Cresselia could be very beneficial for him. And at this time, I don't believe he has made any transactions. That might change. I need to check the Discord to see if anything came through. But yeah, I'll let you guys know, and I'll change my prep before the battle and let you guys know if he did change anything. Can Wish Pass Can Scald. Ice Beam has respectable special attacking stats. Can Heal Bell. Water Absorb is annoying, so it's just fat. It lacks really good physical defense, so we can take advantage of that pretty easily. Mismagius is kind of a bring. It's kind of a threat, but not really. It gets Nasty Plot, good speed tier with like Sacred Fire, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, stuff like that. Straightforward Mon. It's pretty frail on the physical side, similar to Vaporeon. Well, this isn't frail, but it's not bulky. But yeah, Electabuzz, another 105 speed tier Pokemon, 95 special attack. It's actually not bad. Can Volt Switch around, and it's pretty good with Life Orb and stuff. Gets decent coverage, but it doesn't hit super hard on the physical end with 83. But I don't think he brings it like at all, but it's not a bad Mon. Serp, one of my favorite Mons in draft format. Format, definitely top 5 in my opinion. It's so bulky, can 6-0 entire teams with Sub Leech, can Leaf Storm. I said Leaf Storm twice probably. Hidden Power Glare, it's just obnoxious, man, and I love it so much. Nidoking, Life Orb sets hurt. T-Spikes rocks, that's all it does, and that's all it needs to do. So it's pretty bulky as well. Honchkrow is terrifying. Look at that attack stat. I know it's frail, but if you give it a Scarf, or even a Band, it can Sucker Punch and Quick Attack prioritize you, and it's terrifying, man. And like Scarf Brave Bird with Moxie can just steamroll entire teams. So if he doesn't bring Honchkrow, dude, I am incredibly blessed, because I know you're like, oh, well, you have a Steelix right there. This thing's like, if you run Modest on this thing with no investment, like it's still, I meant Adamant. If you run Adamant on this thing, that's still 221 special attack, and that actually 2-shots my Steelix set, and nothing I can really do about that, but it also gets superpower to hit my Steelix, so that's definitely a problem. So I gotta be worried about that, man. Comfy, it's his fairy. Can Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, can Trick. Triage is pretty obnoxious, but yeah, he has a couple of rockers in Infernape, Tyrantrum, Nidoking, so not the most reliable rockers in the world. He has T-Spikes and the Nidoking. He has Defog in the form of Scizor and Serp Honchkrow. Comfy gets Defog, maybe it does. So his removal game is pretty bad, or not his removal game. His removal game is not that bad, but his hazard setting game is pretty garbage. And especially since he has Serp, I would love to see something that can hazard sack like Fortress, because pairing that with Serp would be really nice. But we don't have to really have to worry about hazards. We can prevent them from like getting them set up. If he does end up bringing rocks, it's going to be on the Nidoking, because he doesn't have room on Infernape or Tyrantrum. And if he brings like defensive Infernape with like Morning Sun and rocks or something, then I'm happy with that. Believe me. But now I'm going to go over my team real quick. Steelix, because I don't want to lose to Scizor, and I don't want to lose to Tyrantrum, and I don't want to lose to Honchkrow. So this is what it's there for. This thing can take a +1 superpower from a Life Orb Adamant Honchkrow, which is insane to think about, because 125 attack coming off 120 attacking move, that's crazy. And this can also take 2 Life Orb Earthquakes from Tyrantrum as well. So that's going to be really good for me. And it's also a pretty good phaser for things like the Cresselia Scizor if it wants to set up in front of me, because it may like curse in front of me, but it has to be worried about Fire Fang. But even so, after a certain amount of defense boost, it can just roost it off. So Curse Scizor can be a bring, but it has like an insanely hard time beating his Steelix, even if it is Curse. And it can be like a really good last resort phaser for things like Cert behind the sub, or like Honchkrow if I don't want to kill it with Gyro Ball. And Toxic is just a whittled down Cress for my win con later in the game, because Cress is really annoying, and if I can get rid of Cress right off the bat, or whittle it down in any way I can, that's going to be really good. I could have put Rocks on this thing, but I felt like Garchomp had a better matchup with Rocks. So yeah, this thing is really good. I have Gyro Ball over Iron Head because it lets me hit Serp harder, it lets me hit Honchkrow harder, Nidoking as well. Stuff like that. So I do have APP only on this thing, but it just hits so much harder, and it's really good for me. And yeah, that's a Steelix. Next up, I have my rocker for this game, a really interesting set. I didn't really know what EVs to put in this thing, so I just made it Max Attack Adamant because I can do that. It's a good rocker in this matchup because his defoggers are what? Honchcrow, Sizzler, and Comfy. And what else is it? What did I say? I think that's it. And those things all get like ridiculously pressured by this thing, especially if it's adamant. Like Fire Fang does more than Fire Blast because I am adamant and I don't need Fire Blast. And it two shots like most defensive Sizzlers, which is crazy. Or after rocks, it guarantees two shots, which is crazy to think about. And I can rocks in front of that thing, so there's no such thing as a good defog. And it really hurts his team in the fact that if I get rocks up and chip down the Honchcrow, stuff like that, it can be easier for my win con later. And just to alleviate pressure on my defensive walls to whittle things down. And Crunch is there only for like Cress because Cress is really annoying in this matchup. It's the one thing that can reliably take a hit from my win con, which is Aerodactyl. And Crunch is really good because if he goes for like an Ice Beam or something, he pops my Yachi. He could expect Yachi. For sure he can run Moonblast instead, but I don't care. It's better for me with Yachi because it gives me like less worry about things, right? Because if I get Crunch and he decides to set up on my Garchomp for whatever reason, if he's like max Fizz Def, he can probably set up in front of my Garchomp. And if he sets up like a Calm Mind, I can Crunch that thing and force it to kill me. And I never died to a +1 Ice Beam either, if it's like max. So I can live that and I can get a Crunch defense drop. I get 2 opportunities to do that. And if he wants to keep Moonlighting up to get more recovery, I still get the opportunity to get a defense drop. It's 20% chance. So in that scenario, Hacks is a really good win con for me. And it lets me really break down the Crest. I could have Declaw over this, but it does like 20 to Crest, which is pathetic as hell. So this is also my likely lead, and so I can get up rocks immediately. And I know I'm basically walled by Honchcrow without Declaw over Crunch, but like after I'm like never one shot by Adamant, Life Orb, Brave Bird from Honchcrow, and like I can kill it back with like a Fire Fang because it takes so much recoil after rocks and stuff and Rough Skin and Fire Fang, Life Orb chip, because that's incredible. I don't know if it kills. I may have lied on that calc, but I don't know. It's just really good chip for me. And I can switch in on an Ice Beam from Nidoking after rocks as well, which is really nice. And I can pressure it out immediately, go for my rocks then if I don't lead it. But yeah, this, like I said, this is going to be my likely lead. Gengar has a really good matchup here because it just breaks his team wide open other than like Scarf, Tyrantrum, Scarf, and Fernape. But if he brings Scarf and Fernape and he kills my Gengar, that's just really good information for me because I can play around that pretty easily. And I don't know if Scarf and Fernape is going to come. It definitely has a good matchup with like Grass Knot and stuff like that. But I do have a Slowking that can take most of his hits. Excuse me. And yeah, Gengar just breaks his team wide open. 4 attacks is just the best for me. I don't know why I see it like that because Mega Scissor can just Bullet Punch me and I can play around that easily. I could have like Babiri Berry Gengar, which is an unset, but Life Orb 4 attacks is just best for me. And I do hit a Life Orb number. My HP number does end in 9, so I take reduced damage from Life Orb. So that's really good for me. And I could put Dazzling Gleam over something for the Tyrantrum because it does kill after rocks with Dazzling Gleam to the Tyrantrum. And that could be very useful. But Dual Stab just makes the most sense here. Thunderbolt for the Vaporeon for show. And Psychic just for the Nidoking, because that thing is really hard to beat and I can't switch in on it very well at all, or like at all, other than like nothing. So maybe Slowking is my best option, but it does get like Shadow Ball and whatever, so that could be a bring, but Life Orb Psychic just really covers that. I could put Dazzling Gleam over something like I said before. I'll let you know what I change, if anything. But yeah, next up I have Slowking because Infernape. My defensive wall is Steelix, and it kind of gets bodied by like a special Infernape. And this thing checks both Infernapes. Like, I take 2 Iron Fist Thunder Punches from this thing, always, even Iron Fist, I believe. I may be wrong on that calc, but it's really fat physically, and Grass Knot doesn't do enough damage to me to the point where I need to be super worried because I just have naturally high special defense. But yeah, if I saw it Slowbro, dude, I would like he's for sure gonna run Grass Knot. But Yeah, man, this is really good. I kind of wanted Rocky Helmet on this thing just so he can get chip from U-turn and stuff if he does decide to go for that. And if he's U-turn, I can assume he's choice locked in one way or another. But I had to run leftovers, man. I had to. And Fire Blast is there just so he can't get a free defog on anything. And I am able to take a U-turn from Scissor because I do expect it to be like very physically bulky or especially bulky for sure. Because that just makes the most sense here. And like Fire Blast really pressures him so he can never get a free defog on anything. So I can get my rocks up. And Scald is a role to kill Infernape after rocks, depending on his investment. And Toxic just to like whittle down the Comfey and Vaporeon, because if I can force him to like Heal Bell or something like that, that's gonna be really good for me. It gives me a lot of momentum. And yeah, a set that I was thinking of running was like Trick Room Nasty Plot. But the thing is, like, if I was more offensive oriented, then I just lose to Honchkrow because he can just Sucker Punch me. But I think this set just works the best because I don't lose to Infernape at that point because he has a very fast team, and this is the slowest thing on his team, or on my team, and it out-slows everything. So I could run Trick Room, but I think the set just makes the most sense because I don't really have the best defensive backbone in this matchup, so I need to be careful about that. Next up, I have my main win con, my Aerodactyl, Stone Edge, Earthquake, Roost, Hone Claws, Unnerve with a Rockium Z, of course. Unnerve is really good here because I don't need pressure. I don't need Rockhead because Rockhead is always useless on this thing because it doesn't get Brave Bird. But it pops. It makes it so that like if you Shucka Nidoking, which could be a bring, like you never know. I can like do things with that. It doesn't like pop his berry, so like I kill it straight up with Earthquake, which the investment is for. The only thing that pressures this thing is Scarf Tyrantrum and Mega Scissor, which both of them are like really well checked by the Steelix that I have because I'm very Fizz Def. I'm not especially defensive at all. So like Scarf Tyrantrum doesn't have the best matchup, but if he bluffs a Scarf in front of my Tyrantrum and he goes for a D-Dance, I can still just go into my Steelix because I can take any hit from it and just bop it with Gyro Ball. It like kills for show. And at +1 I can KO Serp. That's not like max HP, max defense, which I never expect. And I even kill like max Vaporeon with a Rock Z after +1. And at +2 it actually kills things like Mega Scissor, like guaranteed, and like everything else. And Hone Claws is really good because of course it doesn't get SD, but it makes it so that I can't miss a Stone Edge. So I don't have to waste PP just throwing off Stone Edges. And so this is a really good win con for me, especially if I get chip off on things like the Cresselia primarily, because I can run Adamant against his team, and that's really good for me. And yeah, if I can chip Cresselia down, this thing can just win. I can set up in front of a lot of things, like pressure something out with like a Rock type move or an Earthquake. So I can set up in front of that, and I believe that his switch-in should always be Cresselia. So if I'm feeling ballsy, I can just go for the Hone Claws, predicting a switch into Cresselia, and at +2, Z Stone Edge should be able to either come close to killing or just kill, and he never kills me with anything anyway, so that's really good for me. And yeah, man, it's just really good for me, and it just wins the game. So that's really good. His Rock Resist isn't the best ever, so because his Steel is neutral to the boy Rock move. So I have a Houndoom because I really want a reliable way to check the Superior, because right now he can just run like sub Leech Seed and just do so much for against my team. It's just insane that like Superior can just body me just straight up, and I wanted a reliable way to just outspeed it and hit it hard with a Flamethrower. Flamethrower does kill Superior anyway after Rock, so that's really good for me. And I can also clean late game if everything's like really chipped with Rocks and Toxic, and if Aerodactyl dies or something. Taunt, because I believe that if he's Scarf, that's not a big threat. If he's Banded, of course, that's a big threat. I have no switch into that, but I can revenge it with things like the Garchomp and the Katie. I just have to play my Sax correctly if he's Banded, but DD Tyrantrum is a really good win con for him, and I can't let him DD up, so Taunt is there primarily for that. and it kind of just wins against me. So I just need to taunt that like I did the Zardex before. I ran taunt 2 times this season, I believe. So he might expect it, he might not, but I think I always taunt on the Tyrantrum because I get to see, because I never kill with anything except for like Dark Pulse if he's really chipped. But I wish I had T-Spikes, man, I'm saying. But yeah, I just needed that. I never died to a Brave Bird from a Haunch Crow unless it's like banded. So it's just really good for me. Even with the hasty nature, I think I can just do things. I believe I just live a Brave Bird anyway. But I can double check. I can make it like naive or something. And yeah, it kills Haunch Crow with a flamethrower after rocks anyway. So that's good. Pursuit is really good just to trap the crest for really good chip and put it in a better position for arrow. It can also be really good for Miss Magius, which I don't have the best ghost resist on my draft, so that's another reason why on my team so far. So that's another reason why I wanted to bring Houndoom, just to pursuit trap it and have a resisted ghost. And yeah, man, I think I prepped pretty well for this game, and I like my team. The things that are really scary is like Haunch Crow, but like if he's a Life Orb, I have to play my sacks correctly, go into my Spyro or my Garchomp or like something else, I don't know. And Dragon Dance Tyrantrum is terrifying, but I think I can play around those pretty well. Nothing on his draft is like really scary except for like Nasty Plot and Fernape, which is really niche because I think he wants to be choice locked, which may not be the best thing, but he might, considering I have a Slowking and he can just U-turn out if he's Scarfed, and also outspeeds my Houndoom and my Gengar, so he may bring that, I don't know. But I really like my team, and yeah, man, let me know. I'll let you guys know how it goes in the next one. I'm dying. Yeah, battle goes up tomorrow, so really excited to play this game. Trying to go 4-0, match my record from last season, and go like, I don't know, 11,000-0. That'd be preferable. But yeah, thanks. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Peace.